Another day, another release. Well, this is a solid flex from Sony by releasing their own 50mm 1.2, and this is their fastest lens release yet. One of the most obvious things about the 50-1.2 is that it is very light in weight. It's 778 grams only, which is, it's smaller than both the Canon as well as the Nikon's 50-1.2. And I'm sure you guys are glad to know that this is also weather sealed in terms of its entirety. So perfect for you to go outside and take it out on like a pretty rainy day. It is made out of some solid robust metal as well as some hybrid construction of plastic. Working our way from the bottom, over here you can see that it's got a D-click aperture switch. So when you turn it off, it's great for you cinematographers out there to have that smooth aperture transition, as well as for you photographers out there, you can click it on, just like a 35mm, you've got the clickable aperture. And over here, you've got two customizable buttons which you can change in your Sony menu settings. Over here, you've got your autofocus and manual focus, and of course, at the front, you've got your focus ring. Moving on to the front of the lens, Sony features a fluorine coated element at the very front, and it allows for a reduction of moisture as well as fingerprints, making it easy for you to clean off. Sony also features 11 aperture blades, which differs from Canon's 10 and Nikon's 9. And now we're actually going to test out to see if that really makes a difference in terms of its focusing and shallow depth of field. All right, let's chuck this on. All right, we've just chucked on the 50mm 1.2 at the aperture of 1.2, as you can see with its shallow depth of field. Now, might I add, the minimal focusing distance for this lens is actually at 0.4 meters. Now we're going to test out how that does with the autofocusing system. All right. Not bad at all, huh? Well, that's because the Sony 50-1.2 also features internally 4 XD motors. And this in itself allows it to focus silently, but yet quickly. So for any photographers out there, as well as cinematographers, this is great for your fast moving subjects. All right, now let's go test it out in the real world and see how it performs. Just gonna test out how well or how creamy the bokeh really is when I'm actually shooting on at 1.2. As you already saw before in the video, focusing in and out, it worked pretty well. But for this one, we'll just check out how creamy the bokeh is. All right. Oh, look at this composition right here, you gotta get that. Perfect. Alrighty, yeah, it's going fast real quick. Yeah, I'm excited to see this in post because, I'm excited to see how good the focus is. I like how complex this kind of looks. I think it's really gonna be a good tester for the 50-1.2 to see how it really takes on this complexity of objects right here. So, yeah, a bit of the foreground, and then let's try to get the mid and a bit of the back. All right, let's do it again. Wow, cool. So we already had some fun with this lens out here and tested out the autofocus, and now we're gonna bring it back to the studio and check out also how it looks with the chromatic aberration. Now that we're back from shooting with the 50-1.2, we're gonna check out how the lens actually performs. In regards to the chromatic aberration, Sony has actually implemented 3XA glass that allows for the reduction of chromatic aberration. So, when you're trying to shoot against really strong highlights, the subject can handle against that. So as you can see this over here, the subject was in fact the bicycle handle, and then you got your delivery massive pouch thing on the back as the foreground, and then just the really strong highlights as the background. Moving on, this was tracking a really quick moving subject, and in particular this in fact was a delivery driver, as you can see with the Easter Bunny helmet. It was going relatively quickly, and I wanted to do a tracking shot. Hopefully I can make him the subject and everything else and blurred out when we were shooting at 1.2. And so as you can see over here, throughout these burst shots that I did, it stayed on subject. So let's zoom in to see if it's, if it performed pretty sharp across his, I guess, face and features. Yeah, I would say that's really sharp. So across all the image that we just took, really happy with those ones. Alrighty, so for this next shot, what we tried to achieve was, taking photos of people coming down from the top of the hill. And this gentleman in particular, I think the autofocus shines in this instance as, he was coming down really quickly for a first thing. And the photos really does show when we're doing it in burst mode, it just focuses on his hand as well as his entire body. One thing that's actually noteworthy is that there's little to no vignetting on this lens, which is great to know. As you can already see in the photos, it is totally unnoticeable. Well guys, that concludes the review for the 51.2 today. Let us know what you think about the lens down in the description below and if this is something you actually get. And also if you'd like to find out more about it, it will also be provided in the link below. Now also don't forget to make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and also follow us on Instagram as we do very frequent giveaways. All right, without further ado, we'll see you in the next one.